So, I'm sure we all have had those moments where our parents have just dumbfounded us. And today I would like to talk to you about that. I am Jeremy Kelly from Central Tabletop Gaming, and this is the story of when my mother told me she wanted to go learn to shoot a gun. Now, we're going to eventually cover the topic of the actual day at the shooting range. But right now, I just want to cover the day she told me. So, me and my mom were on our way back from Iowa, which from my town to where we were going up in Iowa, that is roughly a 9 to 10 hour drive. And I was driving when this was happening. So, my mother's in the passenger seat. It's fairly early into our trip. So, the sun's still up, it's not set yet. It was a fairly good day. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself about all the things that I want to do when I'm up there. I wanted to see my stepdad, Donovan. And I was looking forward to that. And me and mom were on a topic. I think it was about me on the channel and just how I was looking forward to doing some new things when I got back. And the fact that I had been neglecting it for a while. And just out of the blue, my mother looks right at me and goes, "Hey, can I ask you a weird question?" I'm a pretty open person, so of course I reply with, "Yeah, sure, what's up?" And she goes, "I want to go to a gun range." Yeah, there's no way to clarify how much I wanted to slam on the brake, turn to her, and go, "What?" It's not like I was frustrated. It's not like I was angry. It's not like I wanted to blow things out of proportion. I really don't like doing that. But I was in complete and utter shock. So I simply reply with, "Pardon?" Which is probably one of my most famous shock words that I use. Is just, "Pardon me," or "Pardon?" I'm from the South, so what do you expect? So, she replies with the same thing. "I want to go to a gun range, and I'm possibly thinking of one day owning a gun." So, my thought process at this point, and to give you guys also a little bit of background info, thankfully, my mother has never liked guns. She didn't like the fact that I owned a .22 carbine. She doesn't like the fact I own swords. She doesn't like the idea of me near a sharp knife. Except maybe for the purpose of cooking, and maybe not even then. But it's just the way my mom is. She's careful, she's cautious, and guns hurt people. You know what I mean when I say that. I'm sure I got a bunch of people going, "Guns don't hurt people. People use guns to hurt people." Okay, people, we know. Just get over yourselves for a minute and enjoy the story. So, I'm just in complete and utter shock here. And I'm trying to drive at 70 to 75 miles an hour and go past, I think we were just past Joplin, so trying to go on that long stretch afterwards of complete and utter boredom. And she has just blurted out the biggest obscenity I have heard in my life. I actually wanted to pull the vehicle over, go Warhammer 40k, and go, "Heresy!" Okay, for any of you who got that reference, thank you. For any of you who haven't, seriously, look into Warhammer. It's a fun game. So, I asked my mom probably the most sane question that can come to my mind. "Why?" She replies with, "I just want to learn how to shoot a gun." By the way, first of all, no, that is never an appropriate answer in my book. There is always something more in depth, and I need to know more. So I just ask her, "Okay, clarify." And she just repeats herself. "I just want to learn how to shoot a gun. And one day I'm thinking of maybe owning a gun." Hold the bloody phone. That did not answer my question. That just literally beat around the bush again. But I'm willing to accept it right now, because maybe I can pry an answer out of her later. So, I continued to talk to her for a bit about why, and of course that goes nowhere. Maybe about another minute's worth of conversation that I'm just not willing to repeat, because it's just me repeating myself quite literally. So, I end up finally going, well, what do you want to shoot? And she replies with, something cute. Okay, first of all, no gun is cute in my opinion. I view guns as two things: loud and sexy. Sometimes they don't fit both categories. Sometimes they fit both categories. An M1 Garand, loud and sexy. An M1 Carbine, less loud, still sexy. M14, now we're talking. By the way, I literally just mentioned a family of guns there. So, and if you can't tell, I'm a rifle person. I don't like pistols, but, I enjoy shooting them nonetheless. So, I'm thinking to myself, hold the bloody phone here for a minute. So, the woman who has always been against me now wants to shoot something she calls cute? I don't know if there's a cute gun out there. I don't think they exist. Unless you want me to pull up a Hello Kitty M16 meme. I'm sure there's one out there. So, here I am. I'm trying to comprehend this factor. And I'm just looking at my mother and trying to look at the road. Like, I'm giving her glancing looks every now and then, because I'm just in complete shock. And I go, so what's cute to you? I don't know. Oh, this is going to be my entire drive now, isn't it? So, I'm trying to compose myself, which at this point is a bit of a trick because I have no clue what's going on. I actually thought I was on camera and being pranked. So I go, okay, I'm going to give you some examples, and I just want you to tell me if this sounds right for you. Okay. Do you want to shoot a rifle? I don't want anything big. Okay, what about a carbine? What's a carbine? This entire trip is going to be me wrapping my head around this whole concept, was my next thought. So I reply with afterwards, a carbine is a small, lightweight rifle. In comparison to a rifle, it's kinda cute. Well, I don't want it to be too big. What's too big? I don't know. Oh boy. So I go, okay. So, you're interested in possibly a handgun then. What's a handgun? A pistol. Okay, I know what that is. Pistols, revolvers, derringers. Okay, now you're confusing me. What did I confuse you on? The last one. What's a derringer? And I just reply with, it's a small pistol. Okay, how small? Like a pocket pistol. Huh? It's a little pistol you can stick in your pocket, and it doesn't hang out. By the way, I'm thinking my mom was tired because she literally did just get off work before this. So, in her own defense here, my mom is not stupid. But at this point in time, her brain was probably 98% mush from overwork and immediately having to deal with a road trip. So, okay, whatever. She doesn't get it, but I'm like, you'd understand if I showed you one. So, I ask her, well, do you know what kind of caliber you want to shoot? By the way, Jeremy, understand everything I'm asking. And it makes it so easy for me to kind of piece together what is the perfect gun for me. I like guns that have a good amount of kick, but I prefer rifles. I don't like pistols. So something like an M1 Garand, because I don't like bolt actions, even though I own one. I prefer something like that. If I have to have a bolt action, I prefer something like the old school M1903 I fired when I liked it most. I love them. So, I know that stuff, and it makes me very happy. But again, I've never had to break down what does a gun mean? Like the parts of it, the intricacy of describing it to someone else. It just didn't make sense. So, here I am trying to describe that to my mom, and again, I get the reply with, "What kind of caliber do you want?" "I don't know." And then I hear the weirdest thing in the world, which is, "What do you think is best?" By the way, the first time in my life I wanted to look at my mom and say, "Not to own a gun." But that's not how I replied. I replied with, "Probably a pistol." "What kind of pistol?" Something like a Springfield XD or a Smith & Wesson. "What are those?" This is going to be a long day. So, lo and behold, I'm an idiot, so I go through a description again. I even mention how Smith & Wesson is the Dirty Harry gun. By the way, another huge mistake, because she didn't know what that was. Finally, I get to the point where it's just, I'm like, okay, so what do you want to do? "Well, I was hoping you'd take me down to the gun range." Oh boy. And I say, "Okay, I'll be able to save up a little bit of money when we get back, but it will be a little while. I don't have a lot of money, guys, so I gotta kind of work with what I got." And she's like, "How's that much gonna cost me?" "I'm gonna save up the money for a while, Mom. You'll be fine." So she continues to ask me, "How much is it gonna cost?" And I'm like, "Don't worry about it. It's my money, not yours." "Well, are you gonna bring your own gun, or are we gonna have to buy a gun? We can rent guns there." And she's like, "You can rent guns there? That doesn't sound safe." I'm like, "It's a gun range. They take care of their own." Uh, and I'm like, "I'll bring my little carbine." "What's a carbine?" "We just went over this."